Hey guys, it's Misti Burmeister here. What do we do in situations where things just aren't working out quite the way we thought that they should work out? You know, with our career, with our new hire, you know, with a project or a brand new service offering or product. It's just not, people aren't buying it, or things aren't happening the way we thought that they should happen. And even sometimes, you know, with our vacations. What do we do to make those experiences the most valuable and the most useful to us, so they don't take us down this rabbit hole of like negativity, of self-torture, if things just aren't working out? How do we get the most out of them rather than spend so much time on them? Here's the short answer to that question. Train in uncertainty. And I would encourage you, I do this, I try to do this myself consistently. Train in uncertainty in the areas that are maybe a little bit less risky for you. So maybe more in the areas that you're less attached to the outcomes, even just a little bit less attached. If we can train in those areas, then the places where we are attached to the outcome, we can break free of that attachment a little bit more to allow for what is showing up to work toward our benefit, rather than to tear us down and make us so that we can't even function, and we're so upset and emotions get involved. Train in that uncertainty. I did this recently, not on purpose. I wouldn't have chose this myself, but I went camping for the weekend, and it was about an hour and 10 minutes from Baltimore, where I went, a place called Catoctin. I won't go into the details of it, but we did some research online before we left, and when we got there, it was 10:30 on Friday morning. We got there, and we were so excited to have scored the best spot in the campground. It's the most quiet. Anyway, long story short, we throw our stuff down to secure our spot, and then we go to register. As we had done in years past, we'd go to register, and when we went to go register, it said clear as day, like reservation online only, and reservation only. And turns out the entire campground is completely full and reserved for the weekend. And the next closest campground that we knew that we liked was up in Shenandoah Valley, 2.5 hours more at least away. But we had spent some time in Northern Virginia, so we know Shenandoah a little bit, and we know a little bit about their campgrounds. And so we just head in that direction and make a call to see if they have anything that's available. You know, everything was already reserved, but there were some walk-up sites. May or may not still be available. She didn't know, and so we just took the risk and we got there. Well, by the time we got to the 2.5 hour, we're in the car for 3.5 hours, and you just want to be in nature. You just want to be communing with nature. And we get to the opening, the entryway at Luray for Shenandoah, and campground's full. What do we do? So I go to talk to the ranger, and I'm like, is that real? And he goes like, no, we saved the best spot. We saved it just for you. We knew you were coming, so we saved it. Yeah, no, that's not what he said. What he said was the Loft, which is another campground, which is 50 miles more down the road on Skyline Drive inside of Shenandoah, which is about a 35-mile-an-hour zone, depending, even slower for people who are enjoying the view, might have, I think that they have spots. I'm pretty sure they're going to have spots available, he said. So we take the risk again. We quick pit stop, and we start to travel down there. And the whole way I'm like, gosh, I wonder, trying to keep positive, I wonder what we're supposed to get out of this experience. Why are we this far south in Shenandoah? We'd never intentionally go. We would never intentionally go that far south in Shenandoah. I wonder what we're going to find. I had that sort of trying to keep positive attitude until about 40 minutes away from the Loft. And, literally black clouds came over our car, and it started to full on downpour. And it happens that we just bought this new thing on top of the car to put our stuff in, and it wasn't waterproof. And I won't go into the whole details, but I all of a sudden was like, I'm struggling, man. I can't deal with this. I'm mad. I tried to work in that moment. It's hard to work in these moments, but these are the moments to work in. Because, at the end of the day, you can go to a Sheraton, you can go to a Marriott, you can find a place, a lodge maybe. You can find a place to stay. Yes, you want this, but anyway, so we're 40 minutes away, and I'm struggling now, and I'm recognizing I'm in the struggle, which I think is probably the most important piece when we're looking to get the most value out of the uncertainty, right? To score in uncertainty. And so a long story short, again, we get to this campsite, which is called the Loft. And I got to tell you, it was the most beautiful campground we'd ever stayed in all of Shenandoah. It was so beautiful there. And they had plenty of sites available, fortunately. And turns out also that this exact time of year was a time of year in which the mountain laurel were in full bloom. It was, gosh, the hiking was tremendous. All of this because we were willing. It wasn't easy, but we were willing to kind of sit for 6 hours. It took us 6 hours to get there. For 6 hours out of life is really not much, but we sat in that uncertainty and stayed as best we could curious about what's going to come, what's going to happen because we stayed in this, because we kept progressing toward the thing that really mattered to us, communing with nature. So I want to ask you guys this question. What is it that you're going after that really matters to you? What is it that you are striving to achieve in your career or with the people that you're seeking to hire or with the project or with the product that you're selling? What is it that matters to you? Can you stay focused on that long enough to let the rest of the pieces sort of unfold around you in perhaps even a better way than you could have ever imagined? There is a quote I'll leave you with. Nothing in life happens to us. Everything in life happens for us. If we can take that attitude into every experience of our life, watch the difference that makes. Here's to your greatness.